underground for a reason, you know? It's like this entire like in between where it's like testing your broadcast, you're actually still going live. But
so it's live right now then.
It says it'll start shortly.
Yes.
Now it's live. Right?
No, it's live
everything like in that.
I don't know. Don't even worry about it. Okay, this time we're actually live.
Technology, man.
Well, while we talk, I'm going to delete that last episode.
No, can you put that on like the Blu-ray release?
The Blu-ray release?
Yeah.
No.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I wonder. Hold on. Let me actually see if that first part went up about the items. Actually,
you mean the?
I don't know. Whatever. Just leave it for now. It's fine. We're good. We're golden. So again, Brett, why don't you introduce yourself without drinking? Steven. I'm drinking.
Yeah, no, I'm Steven. Filling in here for Brett. So, I mean, yeah, basically Brett.
Yeah.
Vice President of Recruitment. Tabling.
Nice. Tables. We love our tables.
We just did a huge thing for voting.
Yes,
so
we
If
did.
you're seeing this, get out and vote next time.
Yes.
We fucked up.
We have to vote so that we can have Trump win the primary of California.
Oh, yeah. No, the gal almost had him on the road.
Almost.
It was close.
This close.
Oh. Who's this handsome lad?
Yeah, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Why are you in my house?
I don't know you. Why are you in my house?
Well, inviting strangers into your house. I am Kyle. I'm in charge of public relations for Turning Point at Sacramento State, and I am the special guest for the podcast tonight.
Nice. Yeah. So, okay. First question. I asked this on the last episode 30 seconds ago. What went on this week in Turning Point? We had our tabling. Anything else? Any other events?
Mainly just trying to prep for the business symposium in 2 weeks.
Yes.
That's really the big focus right now.
A lot of behind the scenes stuff, like
Before we started to push that, I had no idea what the hell a business symposium was. I still don't know. What the hell is a business symposium? What is it? Why do we have it? What is it doing?
All right.
Why does it do?
The kind of headliner act of it, I guess, is I think her name is Jennifer Grossman. I can't.
Grossman, yeah, I think.
Grossman. She works with the Atlas Society, which is all about Ayn Rand, objectivist, kind of libertarianist kind of thought. Yeah, she's going to be speaking on the ideals of selfishness and like why exactly selfishness is not necessarily a bad thing to be. I mean, within moderation, I think everyone can agree, but like it's all about entrepreneurship and how private enterprise is often far better than anything state-run when it comes to effectively completing projects, or just filling needs. So it's going to be that. I know there's someone coming to speak from the Pacific Legal Foundation who's helped defend stuff in California when it comes to small business rights, all that good stuff, like a lot of conservative movements from them. And then I believe there are a few others, and we're still working on some of the details, but that's going to be coming out, when's the date again?
March 18th.
18th, yeah.
Yep.
So in the
7:30 to 9:30.
in a way to kind of promote that, we're going to be on the quad every day, the 9th to the 13th with the free speech ball. So those are always fun. Yeah, well, that's about it. So if you have any friends, we're going to hopefully work with some of the majors that are relevant, to this business symposium, and hopefully we can get some people involved.
Yeah, it's going to be real quiet this week and next week. All week tabling with the free speech ball.
Yeah. This event is kind of like a first, in my opinion. Like, this is a first because it's actually applicable stuff. It's not politics. It's not abstract. It's not ideology. It's like, it has a little bit of it. Obviously, like, this is the way we think things should be done, but it actually goes into the hard tack. Like,
yeah, it's hardcore subject material.
Yeah, so.
All right. Yeah, no, it's something great that we're having this in the first place. I really need to step up as what's my position here? Liaison. I really need to step up a little bit more. I need to
in my position that I don't know.
Yeah. So there's that, and then we'll see all turns out. And then let's see, we have that. Oh, you guys like my Tulsi thing that I found outside on campus, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna tape that to my wall.
Funny thing, Kyle and I, when we were walking back from tabling today, we saw like a Tulsi poster on one of the boards. Remember?
Yeah.
It's just like wow. And she's like one of those candidates where like Steyer at least was in the debates. But like everyone's like, wait, Steyer's still running? Gabbard's not even in the debate, but she's still running. So okay, she got a point to prove, doesn't she?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. But so let's see. I don't know. My mind just.
The other Klobuchar.
She dropped out. Endorsed Biden.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting thing. Do we have a specific slate of stuff to talk about, or?
Tonight, yeah. So tonight's like the episode title says, getting to the roots. So what I would like to do with you guys is talk about your background, conservative background, where you guys come from, where you guys came from, parents out the womb. Were you conservative, or did you learn the conservative ways or libertarian ways through traumatic events or some shit? I don't know. But we'll start with Steven.
Oh shit! I was gonna pass the buck to Kyle, but I'll give you some time.
How'd you start? What's your background like?
With politics, really not that involved. I mean, none of us really are until we reach a certain age. Like, I wouldn't even say 16 or like 17. Like for me, it was really just not an important thing. Like, I came from largely a single parent household, so I feel like that would lead me to be more on the is Michael echoing?
Yeah, I am echoing. I'm trying to fix that as we talk.
Yeah, no,
Continue.
but my upbringing would lead me to, at least, I mean, I'm California one, so I should be a Democrat. I mean, there's a lot of things where, like, statistically speaking, but I grew up in Rockland, so more conservative. I had the benefit of growing up there. 2008 happened, and looking back on it now, that kind of taught me a bit of fiscal responsibility. I mean, I had no key or I had no part in it, but looking back and seeing, the nice things I was afforded as a kid, well, if I didn't have all those nice things afforded as a kid, and we actually saved some of that money, maybe we would have kept the house. It's hard knocks, but it happens to everyone. But the thing is that I feel like I reached conservatism in general. I wouldn't say that I'm pegged to any party, because I feel like partisanship is just a formality. It usually just comes down to, like, if you don't know anything about the person, then you vote by party.
Yeah.
But, like, I, no real background in politics before this. I was into a lot of philosophy, so that lends itself a little bit. Certain philosophers, indeed. But, yeah, that's kind of where I come from on that. Wouldn't say... Honestly, I feel like I entered from a more libertarian perspective, but became more... I guess it would be authoritarian, I guess, on the axis, if we're talking more libertarian to the typical political compass, more up on the y-axis there. But, I don't know, I still feel like I have a lot of libertarian leanings, like a person, like, individuality, like, I don't individually care, but then I think about the problem on a societal implication, like, that's two different things, so... That's kind of where I'm at right now in politics. So, Kyle, do you want to save me here?
Yeah, you were touching on some things I was going to get to. I guess, personally, now that I look back on it, I kind of get a little bit more of an understanding where I came from. Both sides of my grandparents were hardcore progressives, and my parents grew up in a generation where they didn't really care too much about politics. So going into it, and like up until 2008 or so, they were probably your typical run-of-the-mill Democrats, but politics wasn't a big deal to them. And then Obama happened, and they started getting a little more involved. And I guess before that, like probably right around maybe 9th or 10th grade was when was starting to get serious. Like more of my friends were taking politics seriously. And I guess I just saw something so strange happen with Trump running for president and 8 years of Obama beforehand, just always vilifying the Republican candidate no matter what, I saw this guy start to fight back. And at the time, I was really starting to lean heavy libertarian, but it was hard to pass up the fact that we had a candidate running who was basically a middle finger to the entire left.
Yeah, and the
someone who was
establishment, too.
willing to the establishment too. That was a big part. One of the big reasons I still like Trump today is because he's a business person. America runs on the free market and on business. I'm not saying I'm for corporatism. There's a difference.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I like that Trump understands business, how it runs, because that's the backbone of the American
and how it
economy.
exploits too. He knows damn well how they take advantage of what loopholes and all that. Like he better than anyone.
Yeah, which I mean directly implements to stuff like his tax cut policies. He wants to lower corporate taxes, but he knows they hide money offshore. So he's like, okay, you got to bring it in. I want to lower your taxes, and despite you'll have a fee to bring the money back in, I want you to be better off in the long run to set up production here.
And he knows well that like as much as you want to change and much as you want to like make them pay their fair share, it's impossible. It's like you can't make them pay their quote unquote fair share because it's one, you know, it's a very open to subjectivity there. But like the thing is that they're all going to run away and leave the nation even more destitute than it was. You're not helping the cause by like, you know, just making it impossible to do business, and that's why a lot of Democrat policies fail. Like, sure, they have a good like idea, like okay, maybe we do need them to actually, you know, pay their dues, in a sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they go about it in this ham-fisted way where it's just like we've seen it in California happen about 20 years ago and on since then, where we have just businesses just pushed out of state. We don't have them anymore. You touched on it earlier, and I want to go back to it. Obama, which is basically the formative thing for most of the people in our club, most of the people listening here. Obama. That was like the biggest thing where politics became important to me. I mean, we all grew up with Bush, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have Bush, and I mean that really did give us like a kind of strong kind of counter to it. Like, I mean, even if you were raised conservative, Bush might not have been your guy. I mean, a lot of us think about it like here in the club or like, you know, whatever you guys think about it at home. A lot of people don't like Bush, and I feel like he doesn't get a fair shake sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a good policies. I liked his administration more than him as a president, like his cabinet. I thought he had a good cabinet, but with Obama, it was very interesting because it was a very similar thing to Trump. I mean, even if you weren't a conservative, that first election for Obama, it was huge.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say it's necessarily as big as Trump, like in terms of the upset or the retaliation. I mean, the Republicans, they had their snafus. I'd say the Republicans had their hills to die on when it came to like, where's the birth certificate? And
no,
then
Romney really dropped the ball on his. Romney really fucked up.
yeah, no, and like Obama was a very good candidate. Like, and I'm just speaking from an like
He's
objective like stance on like who should be president, not like, you know, policy. I'm just saying like this guy had a lot of credentials and everything you need to be a president.
He was very politically talented.
Yes.
Like him or not, he was.
Yeah, and like it really defined and kind of almost jaded a lot of people because in the same way that Bush did a lot of things wrong with his presidency, Obama followed up and maybe even expanded those. Drone warfare and all the other things like the continued wars in the Middle East. Everything that people nagged Bush about. And so that's where like people like Bernie Sanders and Trump come up, is like we have these 8-year like almost dynasties. I mean, there was the Bush dynasty and then the Obama years of just status quo. And so that, I mean, that really defined it because a lot of us are just kind of feeling like Trump's our guy. He's not a politician. He's always been somewhat interested in politics. He's made his support known and that, but he was never a politician.
So just to kind of complete full circle, because I kind of got a little bit distracted. I guess I'd still say I lean pretty libertarian now, But I wanted to make that point clear because even though I'm pretty hardcore libertarian, I like Trump as a candidate. There's plenty of stuff I really, really don't like that he does.
Yeah.
But the Libertarian Party is a disaster. It is a shit show. I am a registered Republican, but that doesn't mean I fully endorse everything the Republican Party does or says.
Yeah.
I think the two-party system in the United States is just how everything's been and how it's going to continue to be just because of the way our elections work, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And it leaves no room for third parties, which I think would help the country right now. But, yeah. Just to get that clear.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you did bring up the good point. Libertarian Party? What the fuck even is it? It's just, you have Gary Johnson, Mr. What was his, What is Aleppo? What is Aleppo? And then you...
Pretty friend, I'm sorry. Buzz.
No, but you have, I don't know, it's just, yeah, the party system is pretty terrible here in America. We have the two parties just being dumb. Both the parties are being dumb. And there's no, like, it's, I don't know. I don't like that we're forced with the two parties. At the same time, it at least helps narrow things down. So, and it's, yeah.
System it like only really kind of lends itself to this sort of system, and even though the founding fathers advocated, a lot of them did advocate against parties being formed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was an inevitable one because it wasn't strictly like banned. Because I mean, how
Yeah.
you can't ever ban that. It's gonna happen even if it wasn't like official. You'd have said group of politicians who tend to vote this way and by everything but name, then they would be a party. But yeah, it is difficult. It's very difficult because if a libertarian, if they were ever to get into the runnings or be able to push anything, it'd be best to have like a system like in Europe, where you can win certain seats in the House.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more like a
I think that would be the only way to do it. Having, but then again, you get like a communist party will win.
Yeah.
A communist party, and some stupid parties will win if you do that.
Labor's a thing for a reason, children.
Yeah. So it sucks that it's never going to be perfect. At the same time, I prefer this shit that we have here than a dictatorship. So
True.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to say it because it's not... I mean, it's been said, but Trump is not a true dyed-in-the-wool Republican. He never was and he never will be.
Nope.
Typically. I mean, he is our Republican president, and he's done a lot to help the conservative movement. He's not... I'm not saying that he's a turncoat or anything. I'm not saying he's a traitor or anything like that. I'm saying that he is not conservative in all the specific ideals set out by the Republican Party, which is okay. He does enough of the things to fight back against what's really pressing down on the Republicans right now. So that's why I think libertarians have an opportunity to get into the office, restrict what we can, because we've been going through. I mean, we look at Trump and we look at Obama. They're both the same type of person when it comes to how do I get something done? Executive order.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's a very flimsy way of doing things.
yeah.
It's only a short-term thing because, I mean, Trump right now is working to get rid of some of those executive actions through Obama, which he can.
Yeah,
Easily.
I think that it's a tricky situation when you use executive orders. Because he did talk about how he didn't like Obama using executive orders, and then he goes around and uses them. Now I support Trump. But you don't have to blindly follow somebody. You don't have to agree with everything. Yeah, I think it's a terrible way of doing things. I think it was Franklin that said, if you agree with somebody for the most part on things, it's hold on. Yeah, if you agree with somebody for the most part on a lot of things, you're a supporter. If you agree with every single thing somebody says, then you're just crazy.
Yeah, you haven't thought too much about it.
Yeah.
And speak a lot, and you haven't thought of it much yourself, probably.
Yeah, people don't know how to think for themselves, and sometimes it shows. Sometimes it really shows.
I think plenty of people know what, politics, again, is never meant for most people. I think most people have a lot more things to worry about rather than some abstract government ruling above them, dictating what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do and all that. They're much more concerned, like, how am I going to eat next week? That's just the bottom line. And they're like, oh, well, how am I going to have a family? Or how am I going to do all these other things that are miles more important? Like, never forget that. It's miles more important. That sort of thinking. And a good majority of people just don't have the time to be a politics nerd. I mean, I'm grateful to be around some people who also like politics. I mean, but it's something that you have to keep in mind. And that's why we're not a pure democracy. And thank God for that, because it wouldn't work.
Well, exactly. It's not too much different than what we see on college campuses, because we're out there tabling all the time, trying to get people involved, but the reality is probably like 90-something% of college students don't really care about anything political.
No, young people don't vote.
Well, there's that, but I mean, just in the real world too, most working people, just kind of go with things. It's like, I'm going to vote for the safe president. Like, stuff like that, where I don't expect to see too much of a change in my own life because it's not too pressing to me if it doesn't affect me directly.
But how many of those same students are upset with the system? They think the system needs change. I feel a good majority of them do. Like, not maybe a drastic change, but they realize, like, there are shortcomings that we have. And they're completely just disenfranchised from voting. Like, they think that, oh, what's the point? I mean, that's just a fucking popular take, which is just like, oh, I'm just above voting.
Yeah. No, and then you have people that will say, and I get where they're coming from. They're like, oh, my vote doesn't count. You know where they're coming from, but dude, if all the people that said my vote doesn't count went out and vote,
if they become their own party,
yes, they would become their own party. Oh my god!
Like, but it only plays into furthering the goals of the people that they think are causing the problems. If you don't vote and you're upset because some like nebulous entity out there is oppressing you or your friends or some group, or like you think there's some great evil out in the ether, and you're just like, wow, I want that to change. But you know what? My vote doesn't do anything. They are banking on that.
Okay, but I got one for you too. Just take our home state as an example. If people are out there saying my vote doesn't count, when we're outnumbered about 7-1 in California, how do you make change happen?
And that's why, like, Turning Point is a thing. Just because you want to go above and beyond just your vote. You want to do something beyond just casting that ballot on one day of the year. You want to go beyond and try to influence and talk to people about their ideas. I mean, we're not actually going to be able to change a lot of people's minds when it comes down to it. We're not going to be able to completely change them as a person. That's impossible. But, I mean, just at least think about their position. Think why they vote. I mean, most people don't even look up, like, research on what they're voting for before they go to the polls.
Yeah.
That's
very
a
true.
big majority.
And what I like though, or I guess I don't like, but I do see a lot right now is one thing I like to bring up. Democrat Party is supposed to be the party of the young people, right? Like that's what they advertise themselves as. If anybody except Warren gets the nomination for the Democrat Party, Trump is the youngest president running in the race. Like, that doesn't seem like the party of young people. They also, if you narrow it down, the Democrats that are running right now are all millionaires or couple billionaires dying just dropped out.
Millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah. So you have like all these people are 1%ers, right, or whatever, and they're like, oh, we're the party of the poor people. Dude, every single one of your people running are worth millions of dollars.
Oh no, they are the party of the poor people. You know why? They find the poor people who have been downtrodden in America for so fucking long, and then, you know what? Vote for us. We'll make sure you stay poor. We'll make sure that you never have any opportunity to get better and any opportunity to rise up by your bootstraps. I mean, look, I'm not saying that every policy passed to aid them is a bad thing. I do believe in safety nets.
Yeah.
But perpetual welfare states, what chance for aspiration? What chance for anything when you're just fed the bare minimum out of your little guinea pig, little drips of water? It really is that.
Yeah. I think if you look at candidates like Bloomberg, Bloomberg strikes me as the type of guy to be like, I love minorities. I hire them all the time for my housework. Like, some shit like that. I feel like Bloomberg's that type.
I love women, but when I want them to shut up, I just throw the non-disclosure agreement at them and send them out the door.
Okay, have you seen the recent SNL thing with them?
I mean, Warren...
No, I haven't yet.
It's basically the debate. They basically was like, hey, let's just reenact debate word for word, but throw in actors.
Warren coming out with the fucking tomahawk to his campaign. It was brutal.
Warren's the tomahawk.
Yeah.
Warren's like, if I'm gonna fucking go down, so are you. So are you. Hey, in the end, they're gonna jump behind a single candidate, though. That's the scary part.
Biden.
They're gonna jump behind.
But what about Bloomberg?
Yes.
I think that's always a pocket thing where they could okay, Biden's really fucked up.
Yeah, but I think that's their only shot. Like at keeping their party Democrat. They don't like Bernie. They fucking hate Bernie because Bernie's not Democrat. He's a fucking socialist, independent dude.
Pinko.
Yeah. But he stated before he's not a Democrat. He's a socialist. He's an independent. That's the fucked up part about the two-party system. He can't run as an independent because he knows he'll lose.
When Bernie can't even say bad things about the fucking Cuban dictatorship. When he can't
Their literacy
denounce...
programs.
Yeah, when he can't denounce Fidel Castro on national television.
But the literacy programs.
But the literacy program.
Yeah.
Hey, Cubans, they know how to swim.
Hey, when they... Well, I mean...
Thanks, communism.
You gotta think, if they're making so much propaganda about the glorious communist regime of Cuba, you have to have some people able to read it. So yeah, the literacy program.
The elites, though, those are the ones that can read the most. And okay, so transitioning over a little bit to the coronavirus stuff. What I like is people complain, if the coronavirus really hits the United States hard, we're gonna see capitalist, free market medicine really at work. It's gonna shut down. Like, it started in a country with free healthcare. Yeah. It led to countries with free healthcare. Now it's in a country that doesn't have free healthcare.
Their healthcare.
Let's really see what we're gonna do.
The free healthcare for them was mainly like, okay, so your tenement buildings, you can just kind of bolt that shit down and enjoy living in there.
That was free healthcare. Yeah. And I get annoyed when people talk about free healthcare because it costs way too much. But at the same time, okay, go to Sac State's The Well, go to The Well, and try to schedule an appointment for anything. It's free healthcare because you pay your tuition. They're like, oh, it's free. No, you're paying for that. It's already included in your tuition. You're paying for that. But the thing is, if you try, let's say you try to go to for example, a counseling therapist. They might find you an appointment in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not close enough if you're having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, if it's something like mental, psychiatric, you need that help quick.
Yeah.
Granted, there's always other opportunities, outside the school where it's usually private.
Private, where it's quicker.
Yeah,
you want an appointment tomorrow? We'll get you in. Just give us a little bit of money.
Yeah, but there is a problem within our healthcare system. Mm-hmm. We do spend exorbitant amounts.
We spend more per person than any other country.
Yeah, and I think that's one. We're not the healthiest group of people.
Okay, but I like bringing up the money behind it all because if you look at countries and I like to bring up education the most because that's my field. We spend more per person in education than any other country by $6,000. We spend $16,000 per person in education system from K through 8th, and people will say, oh. That's only, or K through 12. That's only K through 12. What about college? Well, take the $6,000 you're spending per person every year and put it into a college fund for them. You can have free college. Have your free college without raising taxes. It's there. The problem is they don't want people to know it's there. So they're like, if we make free college, we can make a little bit more money out of it.
Bureaucrats doing what bureaucrats do best.
It's stupid. We spend $6,000. That's more than our tuition is per semester. Like, in a state school, you can send 2 people to college. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. We can't afford free college. It's fine if you want it. Just don't raise taxes for it. Don't raise taxes for it because we're already paying $16,000 per student. We can easily do it. I think the next country up is $11,000 per student, like Japan or South Korea or something like that. And their education system is way better than ours. Our education system sucks. But the problem isn't money. The solution isn't money. The solution isn't putting more money into it. The solution might be take money out. And then you'll see how desperate people get to be efficient with the money. So be efficient with the money, but people don't like being efficient with the money.
Abolish the taxes, yeah.
The money.
You're right. You're right.
What's that phrase that we say a lot about taxes?
What? Oh, I think I got it. Taxation is
Say it.
smelly?
No, almost. Close,
Oh.
close.
It's like a loan.
It's like I think it's taxation is coercion. I think, right?
No,
Well,
you're
grand
warm. You're
theft
warm.
auto.
We're getting warmer.
Warmer.
Taxation is
Rape.
wow. Got it.
That's our new slogan.
April 5th or
You can just see the reactions now, holding that sign up out around campus.
Every time every
God.
time tax season comes around, just bring out your hashtag #2 signs.
no means
Yes.
no.
The
No
government-
means no, IRS. Go away.
The government was the Me Too. The government was a Me Too perpetrator.
Where did
We're
the
the
government
victims.
touch you?
I mean that's not actually
Right
very
here.
far. I mean, I'm gonna spew out some controversy, or
Say it.
you're not too wrong with the government being behind the Me Too movement. There's a lot of them there.
Yes. No. Definitely, they are there. If it was a government official that did it, technically the government did it. You know.
Al Franken.
Epstein had some
Weinstein
high-powered
with his
friends.
connections
Weinstein,
to these
Fucking
politicians.
people.
I mean,
yeah. You know.
and that's something that's really
PTA.
interesting. I don't want to like go too down the rabbit hole with this because we can go all night on just this
Oh.
entire subject. But
This somehow devolves into
yeah,
Alex Jones.
Conspiracy theory.
We're
hour.
breaking the conditioning.
We will have a conspiracy theory episode one
Yeah.
day. We will have this
Yeah.
episode.
Gay
No,
frogs.
but
Just
just
title it
Gay
Gay Frogs.
Frogs.
Like
Yes.
the Epstein case, regardless of whether or not you think he killed himself or not. I mean, he didn't kill himself, but you know, for those who
He
think
might
that
even
he
still be alive.
No.
I mean-
That's party unity right there.
Yeah.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
It's
Party
the meme,
unity.
It's
Yeah.
the meme where all the hands are, or like the
Yeah.
black hand,
Yeah,
and white
yeah.
hand, they just come together.
Yeah.
Republicans, Democrats.
Predator.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah, no, the thing is that's been kind of, you know, it's just, no one really cares. It's out of the public conscious now because, I mean, we have so many other things. You gotta worry about coronavirus, and I kind of want to go back on that. Like, I want to talk about it more because more has come out about that. And I feel like it's important to talk about because when does a fucking pandemic becomes a political issue? But anyway, no, the fact of the matter is Epstein existed at one point. It doesn't matter about how he died, it's how he lived. That's the real fucking issue here. And the real issue is the people that he worked with, the people that he dealt with, and all the other things about it. The people that he harmed still have not had any recompense. And the people that he's worked with, I mean, you know, was it Prince Andrew? Stepped down,
Yes.
got kicked out. But, like, that's it. And you think he was just a little prince boy?
He
No.
still gets his like benefits or
Yeah.
something from that. Like it's not even that much.
A slap on the wrist and maybe not invited to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
Very unfortunate. These people need to be found out for what they've done, and it's terrible.
He'll
'Cause-
still get his allowance though. Whatever
Yeah,
his
of
allowance
course.
is.
Yeah.
His few million a month, whatever
and,
it
and
is.
do
I
you
don't
think
know.
there's not another Jeffrey Epstein in this world?
Oh, there's millions.
That's
of them.
it. Like, that's it. There's not just Jeffrey Epstein. That's, like, the kind of thing. It's cockroaches, it's spiders, it's rats, whatever you want to call it. When you see one, you know there's about 10 more hiding behind your wall.
You know who's probably up next?
What?
It's a wild, wild, wild guess.
Yeah?
Tom Hanks. He's going down next.
Really?
Yes. They're gonna find out
with
about
a
his
Me Too
basement.
or like a full-on like
Epstein.
fuck. I mean, he is a
You
Scientologist.
heard it here first.
Breaking news. Tom Hanks.
That's a hot take. I
Pedophile.
don't know much about Tom Hanks aside from the Scientology thing.
I have no evidence at all to back this up. Nothing. I'm just saying. He's the guy you would least suspect it from, right? So he's the guy
You know
should
who I
least
hope
mean,
doesn't
well,
turn out this way because he's a national treasure? Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I thought you
He
were
would
gonna say Dwayne
never.
Johnson.
He would not hurt. He would not hurt a wing on a fly. That man is a saint.
Yes, he is, and I hope never to be proven
Okay,
otherwise.
but what about Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Do you think that's possible?
Oh.
I don't know. Like, anyone that
Can
has
the
enough
country
clout,
handle that?
I don't know. But, like, it just breeds a certain distrust in me. Like, whenever we look into Hollywood and we talk about all these, like, you know, these effigies of just these people that we build up so high, you know, and it's just like we put so much weight into them and they become people like this. And it kind of breaks the little, like, it pulls back the curtain to find the guy behind the green, like, projection in The Wizard of Oz. You get to see that old man. Like, it breaks that immersion, which is interesting, I think.
Yeah. I want to dwell. I want to dive more into this conspiracy stuff. To be honest,
Oh man,
It's not
we're starting early.
I don't think it's necessarily conspiracy as much as it. We're not drawing conclusions. We're just making like, nothing's concrete.
Oh, okay. Chris Bish is sitting in second place on her race, looking like she might move on to the general election.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Bish has got it. Come on. Like, I want to...
Bish, please.
Yeah, no, we had her come to a general meeting, and she was great.
Yeah, she was. She got challenged on a few of her ideas, or at least to explain them out a little bit more by some of our members, and I thought that was great, because I was a little, it took a sec to kind of process what she wanted to do.
Yeah. A politician should never be judged by their ability to speak to the audience. It's to respond to the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
And Donald Trump does that well because he conducts the audience, which is a bit of a step above than most politicians.
I love Trump speaking to a crowd. When we saw Trump speak, he was speaking.
Yeah, we were
to
all there.
us.
It's something to see a rally on TV, but to actually be a part of the crowd is unreal. It's unreal.
It's like one of the Southern Baptist sort of, like, it just flows through you. You're just singing with, like, you don't think about singing when you go in there, but then you get in there. It's contagious.
It's hard to think of someone who can read a crowd better than Trump. It really is. It was like this transitions between things he was talking about. Someone in the audience can shout something, talks about it for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. And the thing about Trump that a lot of, like, liberals, Democrats, even people on the right seem to hate is his kind of brash tactics. And I kind of want to cover this slightly. Like, how he's, like, the dumb president. Like, he used very short words and he speaks rather slowly. Okay. That's calculated. That's calculated.
Yes, one thing I do like to bring up, and I discovered this way back in, like, freshman year of high school or some shit. When I think it was people were talking about Romney or some shit like that. Yeah. They were talking about, like, how Romney's speeches were the equivalent of, like, an 8th grader. And I looked it up a little bit more. And I found out that while Obama's speeches in certain situations are a lot more like the equivalent to, like, a college student, his regular speeches are the equivalent to also like an 8th grader. Because the average United States American does not have the education of even high school. It's like, at some points, it's like 9th grade. So you need to talk when you're trying to address the entire nation. You need to address the the large chunk of the nation, and unfortunately, they're not educated.
And because you don't need to go about it with all these fancy words in a lot of senses, it's very simple things that we need to tackle as a nation that we're just not talking about. We're too afraid to say them. We're too afraid to actually directly address them, and that's what Trump actually did. Trump, and this is part of his brand, is being a wrecking ball into the establishment of the hoity-toity politician man, the clean everything. Like, he broke it, and it's been great because they're still broken, and they're going into the next election shot and go in shambles.
Another thing, Prop 13 is losing right now.
That's losing. That's a good thing. Yeah, fuck. Like, I was about to say losing for our perspective, but no.
Brett said it's Prop 13 is currently losing. Another thing,
there's hope.
Close race, but Bill Weld, Joe Walsh, and Roque de la Fuente losing to Trump by 92, almost 93%. Close race there.
It's close race.
Close race.
That's what I was watching.
Yeah, so Trump has 1 million votes in California.
That's-
Next up, Bill Weld with 31,000.
Only a million.
Okay.
Only a million.
In California, as of right now, 45% reporting. So don't count all your chickens yet before they hatch.
Bernie Sanders ahead by 1 million.
Bernie Sanders is ahead by 200,000.
I feel compared to who?
Joe Biden.
Okay.
I thought
can't
Warren
help
was
but
gonna do better.
Maybe, but I mean, Warren seems to be dead. She really she's not in this
She
race.
went up in smoke.
Yeah, she's Bernie Light. That's all she ever was. She's just Bernie Light. And so, like, I thought it was going to be more of a shoo-in for Bernie here in California. I thought this was more Bernie state than it ever was Biden state.
Bloomberg is doing a better job than Warren.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. With all
Okay.
the advertisements. And Warren, like, what is one policy you can even give to Warren that's not held by Bernie Sanders?
Exactly.
She could have been more of like a green candidate, but then she would have just shot herself in the foot because
Yeah.
no one votes green.
I'm trying to find like the different results of everything, but Brett said Ted Howes of District 10. I don't know where that's at.
Yeah. He, James works on his campaign. Yeah, it's a good.
He's
our
Republican.
yeah.
He is actually beating the incumbent in the primary by 200 votes right now.
That's
Nice.
a very narrow margin, but let's hope he keeps it.
It is a very narrow margin.
Let's hope he keeps it though. How
But
many
let's
reporting?
see
How many
how it's-
reporting?
Well, I don't know. I just know that like the major presidential primary is at 42%.
If we can turn even just one seat here in California, that's a step.
Yes.
We need to
That'd be
take like
great.
about 20 steps to make it really worth.
50 steps. 100
100.
steps. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking at like the different. I'm trying to find the different districts of what's going on. See who's who. Let's see. So
Hate to
right
do
now,
I hate to do it, but can I go use the?
yes.
Can I get the bathroom pass?
I'll figure out a way to do
Teacher.
this. This way.
Yeah, that's fine.
So when you come back, I'll update you on what's going on. Let's see. So Sanders. It looks like Bloomberg won a couple counties, I guess, or areas. Oh, Brett sent me a link. Cal Matters. Brett sent me a link. I'm gonna check that out. Okay. A weird guy. That's okay. Let's see. Just gotta keep scrolling to find. Yeah. So right now it looks like Sanders still winning by about 200,000 votes. That's quite a lot, actually. That's 200,000 people. That's a whole county. Like that. Yeah. Trump. That's expected. Prop 13. No is winning by a good chunk. Holy shit.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
57% compared to 42%. All right. $15 billion bond for school facilities. Let's see. Congressional District number 1. Oh, so this is what they're presidential. Okay, so presidential, Trump, all this stuff. I wonder if there was any county that didn't vote for Trump compared to like the other years. Okay. The incumbent Republican of District 1 is winning for, what is this, representative, congressional. Okay. Sanders is winning there. I'm trying to skip all the presidential ones. I don't give a crap.
Yeah, the presidential
Congress. Jared Huffman in District 2 is a Democrat, but he is winning by 40,000 votes. So
Alright, so that's close.
Yeah, it
It's open and
seems-
closed, but
yeah, but we'll see how that goes.
yeah, I really need to read up on the district map because I have no
Yeah.
idea where half of these things
District
are.
3. Oh no, that's presidential. Congressional. Here we go. District 3 is John something, Democrat, 55%, and Tamika Hamilton is a Republican with 29.8%. Little disappointing that they have a third Republican in that race that took out 11,000 votes, because if you added up those 11,000 votes, then the Republican to Democrat ratio would have been a little bit smaller.
And that's the thing that we need to really focus on is
Unity.
like unity.
We need a lot more unity. We have a lot of unity right now, but we need more. Let's see. Tom McClintock. What the? McClintock? I don't know. District 4, 55%.
Yeah, he was gonna hold it. He's the incumbent.
Yeah,
He was
he's the incumbent. Congressional, Mike Thompson is a Democrat. He's fighting Scott Giblin, and he's gonna win it 65% to the Republicans, 24. We're good. Presidential, congressional, District 6. I don't even. Oh, this is Sacramento District. She's in second place. She definitely is in second place.
Wait, who?
But it is a primary. It is a primary, so it's okay. She's in second place.
That's pretty
Chris
painful.
Bish, but she's losing by 20,000 votes.
I mean, someone had to run.
Someone
I'm not
had to
going
run.
to say that it's done and over, stick a fork in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about if there are any other Republicans running that race or if they dropped down or anything like that. I'm not sure if all the Republicans were voting that needed to be voting. But
And it's a primary.
it's I mean, it's also just a tough.
'Cause honestly,
it's a tough district.
There's a lot of Republicans that were like, I don't need to vote in the primary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's hope they get out for the.
Yeah, because I mean that is a bit of a thing to take into note because I mean you're not. People vote primarily, especially with election years, for the president, which is a bad mindset to have. It is the worst mindset. It is to think that the federal government is the most important government in your life. It is not. It is hardly ever. I mean, it is all about state and local government when it comes down to it. That's what most directly affects you. And that's what she talked about when she came. And that's what Sue Frost also touched on. It's about the people that directly affect you, which are your local politicians. So that's why, I mean, Republicans who didn't go out to vote this time around, in Sacramento, District 6, you said?
District 6. I need to see a district map.
Rally up, you know?
Let me see a California district map.
Do you got a napkin or something? I accidentally
Buzz
party
Patterson is
fouled over
close.
there. Alright, right here.
Okay, let's see. The district map. Anyway, I'll get that in a second. Congressional, let's see, Democrat in District 7. See, this would have been great. John Ivey, I guess since it is a primaries, it won't matter later, but John Ivey and Buzz Patterson, both Republicans in District 7. They're going against somebody named Amy Barra, who's a Democrat incumbent. Right now, Ivey has 8% and Patterson has 39%.
Patterson could win it. That's my district. It's highly contested. He's
Yes.
barely won the last few times.
Yeah.
Amy
so,
Barra?
Yeah,
So I think
barely.
that if Ivey were to drop out and they throw their support behind Patterson, which they should, it would be not an easy takeaway, but Republicans
a
would have a
huge takeaway. Like,
yes.
if we won that seat, Ami Bera has been a huge player for the Democrats here in the state. Not necessarily, like, nationally. Bera is a afterthought nationally. He's just another one of those California Democrats. But within the state, if we could get Bera out,
Yeah,
that's
it'd
big.
be big.
Yeah, and again, 1 step, 2 step, however many steps we can take, as long as we're not taking them any further back, because 2018 was a fucking slaughter here.
Yeah,
We
it
lost a
was
lot.
not good.
Okay, let's see what else we got. District 8. Kyle, where are you from? That was your district?
Yeah, that was my district.
Where are you from?
Citrus Heights.
Okay. District 8. Oh, that's presidential. District 8. 49%. This is the race to watch, apparently. Do they not have an incumbent? Or is the incumbent just not running? I guess it's up for grabs. It looks like this district, District 8, might flip to Republican. Right now is only 50% in, but the Republican nominee for that is 36%. Democrat is 26%. But there's 2 Republican congressional people. And it's a pretty large percentage. Like, it's 50%. Like, combined 50-something% compared to 26%. So that's going to definitely be a race to watch. In one of the districts, Bloomberg beat Biden. I like how they say Joseph R. Biden.
I mean, old Uncle Joe.
Oh, this is my district. District 9.
Oh.
McNerney. He's going to win again. Fuck. All right, well.
Democrat.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's 50%. He has 24,000 votes as a Democrat. Antonio Amador and William Martinick, whatever, they are the Republicans. Combined, they have about 50%.
Yeah. I think we can go down the list. I feel like it's going to be a lot of the same story.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys want to keep on going, but like in terms of like what we got here, unless there's any other big ones, but like I really want to like that's a subject that transcends just the polls.
Okay, here's one. District 10. It looks like that seat might flip because the incumbent is a Democrat. 38% of the vote is at him. But in first place, Ted Howes, 38.4%. He is winning by 200 votes.
James, your guy might... I mean, it's too early to call, obviously.
Yes, it is too early to call. But
hey, it's not bad for what it is right now. I mean, hey, James, shout out to you.
It's definitely... Okay, so let's see.
Hey, get one of those.
Yeah.
Get him with one of those.
Okay. Where is this? I would have loved if they would have said what district or what county these are in. But anyway, congressional districts are pieces of shit anyway.
I think this shows a huge thing with the Republican Party, Libertarian Party, any like people on the right. It's the fact that we need to stop like bickering. I feel like this might just be my bias. I am a conservative, so I like to think better of my own crowd, but I feel like we are a bit more nitpicky with each other on ideology and all that shit than maybe even the left are. But granted, never. In certain aspects of the left, they also have it. I mean, we've seen it with the progressives and the cannibalization of their party. We should not allow that to happen here. We are seeing it actively in the left right now. The late stages of it.
Okay, so I do have one thing to say about this district. District 11. They have somebody that's not a Republican or Democrat, at least registering as a percentage. The Green Party, Michael Ernest Kerr, 6% almost, 5.9%.
6%?
Almost 6%, 5.9 for him. Let's see, congressional Nancy Pelosi.
Is she gonna get another few million while she's still living? It looks like it.
She's at 72%.
And this is
Who
why
the fuck voted
this
for her?
is why democracy
They
is
stepped
not
outside.
a.
They stepped outside the door into shit and needles and was like, "Yeah,
Pelosi.
yeah, I like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Yeah.
Pelosi.
Yeah. How many more years is this? How many?
Two.
Make it full.
Four. We're doing four.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be out here voting again.
Lifetime limits. Lifetime limits.
Yeah.
I'm getting lifetime limits. No, who the fuck does that? Who steps outside and was like, "Smells like ass today."
It's a good day.
This
I mean, if it's
Pelosi
in the Castro district, that's what you want it to smell like.
I'm ready to get fucked in the ass by the government and by my partner.
Hey, and we're tolerant to all viewpoints, except the ones that are wrong. We're not tolerant to those. No, it's just
Especially yours.
yeah.
What was it? No on, yes on 8. There we go.
Yeah, fucking hell. We also had that in our lifetime.
Yes, we had yes on 8, and then we had
That was huge. I completely forgot about
it.
that.
Won.
It was in the same
It
era.
won, and then our courts was like, "No, fuck you."
And for the longest time, California, even the most progressive fucking state, said no.
Tooth and nail. We went
And
down.
I feel like we've forgotten that, and there was a resistance to that for a reason. And I don't want to get into like the morality of it all, and because I mean, that's actually kind of an interesting point of contention. So maybe I will. Where is you as a libertarian see it? Are you just like get the feds out of our beds, or
Yes. The government has no right to regulate what you do as a free individual
what
person.
goes up my ass is up to me, not the government.
yeah? And well, the thing is with that sort of policy is it's like they'll never be able to enforce it. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting if they could in like a weird dystopian future where they have like chips implanted, for like if there's ever high homosexual intent, it's like this goes off and like they call it like a squad to kick down the door or something.
You've had an erection for more than 4 hours, sir.
Yeah.
This is an all males gym.
So I don't think I don't think this is like something that's you can even legislate.
No.
In terms of like moral institutions like the church, there should never be a thing where you can compel or make an equivalency unless the church itself wants to, like that certain sect of the church,
Yeah.
to allow for gay marriage. And this is like way off topic. I'm sorry, but
You're good. After this, I'm gonna
look, I want
update
to
you
fight
on
with a libertarian.
Okay, well, just really quickly, District 16 is a Democrat-held seat, but a Republican is in contention right now and is in the lead. Kevin Cookingham. Oh, what a name. Kevin Cookingham.
I mean, sounds tasty. I'd vote for it.
38.4%
Free bacon.
to Jim Costa's 37.6%. Jim Costa is the incumbent Democrat.
I think I've heard of him. Yeah.
And the Republican is currently in the lead.
Stop it, you.
I'm trying to play finger fillet with my toes. I'm trying to find like the very close ones. There's none of them that. Damn, what the heck? Oh, no, never mind. That was Trump. Trump is winning by a landslide
Yeah.
right now.
So, getting back to it, what were you trying to get at, though?
The thing is that like, and I
Right.
think that's like another thing that's the huge part between conservatives and libertarians. I think a lot of conservatives can see the libertarian aspect of like, if it doesn't directly affect me, why do I care? But society is a big thing.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Yeah.
And the actions and the choices and like the things that people are allowed to do obviously influence that society. Yes.
Yes, and I guess this is where it comes down to individual topics.
Yeah.
And
so,
debating them.
Yeah. Do you guys like ass play?
I mean, I could take it or leave it. You know?
We're jumping right into it, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you guys remember. Remember what Mark said?
What did Mark say?
I think I remember what Mark said, but I'm not gonna say
All right.
it. You're gonna say it because
District 21. T.J. Cox,
Gonna pretend like
Democrat,
nothing happened.
incumbent.
Wait, T.J. Cox, Democrat?
He's an incumbent.
Okay.
35.1%.
I was thinking
But
of a different one.
in first place, David Vlada, Republican, 54%. He's taking the seat. It's flipping.
And I think that's a huge part of what we can do to turn California red. Is I'm not saying lose races. I'm not saying anything. But if we let the Democrats play their game long enough, our system's going to fall apart, and that's how we'll turn red.
David Nunes.
Ah, yes. Vote for the economic collapse of California.
Accelerationism, my dude.
David Nunes is winning.
Bernie Sanders.
9%. I'm trying to see what other races they have, like race to watch stuff on here.
Oh.
I'm trying to see what other races they have to watch. It seems like a good chunk of them are. They're probably like 50% in. Yeah, I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of races going on. A lot of what propositions do we have going on? 13. What else?
That's it. It's pretty boring.
Just 13.
I think there's like
it
one more,
depends
but
on
it's
the
pretty
district.
boring.
Yeah.
It's pretty
In
boring
Sacramento
this time.
district, I know I had about like 4 of them.
I think
But
that's
I only
four as
remember
well.
2 or 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Like all I know is just like no, fuck off, no.
Ooh, the site.
Wait, there's
detect
another
shows.
one. No, just because I have to sign no again, I'm gonna say no for
No,
this.
yeah, no. I was basically my Professor Latino, my political science professor. He was like, if anything is on the ballot, even if you agree with it for propositions, just vote no anyway, or vote like the equivalent of no, because propositions suck and it's impossible to get.
I
around.
don't think so. I think propositions are a great system. I love that we have them here in California.
Yeah.
Because it's a good way for the people to mobilize. If there's a fucking problem in the state, that is the best way to do it.
At the same time,
But it's also a good way for institutions in the state to pass more funding for themselves.
Yes.
So they can get more
I'm
things to
still
bail out their
triggered
friends.
from Prop 6.
So, propositions are not a lost cause. They're a great cause. And the fact that other states have them is because they started here in California.
I like
A glorious part of the nation. I love California.
I have to do a paper soon on on choosing a proposition and write like a 12-page report on it. I was going through all the California propositions that passed, some of them that didn't, all that stuff, just trying to look at some of them. And things were like triggering in my mind. I was like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
There was one a few years ago. I think it was in 2000. I think it was in the last presidential election or the one before that. It was a proposition to force porn stars to wear condoms.
Yeah,
I remember that
was a thing. Do you guys remember what your parents put?
No, I can't remember.
I don't remember either. I think if anything, they might have just not filled that in.
I don't even know what I could have voted for that, so I don't even know.
I don't even.
That's one thing that I don't even know what I voted for. It's
Yes.
just like
I don't even know what I would vote for.
That's it. It's just they want something to legislate. That's just like something that like
Yeah, no, well, it's a hard no. Like, why the fuck are we legislating this? Like,
yeah.
Keep your hands off my porn.
no step on porn.
No, no step on snake. You know, no wrap the snake.
No
Yeah,
rap the
exactly.
snake. There
Yeah,
you go. There it is.
No.
That's something where it's like
This podcast has gone off the rails.
I mean I mean honestly I think they should legislate porn because a lot of people go into it that shouldn't. There's a lot of coercion in that industry.
Yeah.
True.
That's something that I feel that has ruined a lot of people's lives.
You guys
Not by
wanna
the
make
people who
porn?
consume it necessarily, by the people who are acting in it and the people who go into it. They think it's an easy way to make money and then they're stuck doing it.
Yeah.
It's terrible. There's actually a lot of studies done, like documentaries done.
You guys want to make a quick buck?
All right. Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean,
$20 is $20.
I'm still waiting on the monetization.
I have a
fucker.
camera.
Yeah.
I actually have a better camera. Oh, it's in my little camera bag. But anyway, David Nunes, Republican.
I'm scared
joining.
for my life.
Congressional
Send help.
District
Send
25.
help.
It looks like a Republican. Ooh, this one's gonna go to a Republican. Definitely looks like.
Nice.
Christy Smith, Democrat, with 28% of the vote. But number 2 and 3, Stephen Knight and Mike Garcia, both have 9,000 votes, and both are Republicans. So combined, they have a good chunk that they'll probably take away from Christy Smith. So it looks like that district will go to a Republican come actual election cycle or election day. Let's see, what else do we have here? 39, Young Kim, Democrat or Republican in District 39. Young Kim is beating Jill Sinceros by 15%. Steve Cox. Steve Cox. Where's that name sound familiar? Wasn't he the dude that ran for president?
No.
I mean, ran for governor?
He ran for. I don't think it was Steve Cox though. I think it was a different one. I could be wrong, but yeah, no, there was a guy that ran. I think it was Jerry Cox. Or...
Jerry Cox, I think it was.
Yeah, he ran for governor against Newsom back in what was it, 16 or 8? I think it's
16.
18.
No, 18. Yeah, but
John
he didn't
Cox.
get this.
John
Cox.
There
Wait,
it is.
That's what it was.
Did he get the
No.
nomination for party or for the party?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually friends. My mom's a friend with his sister. Funny enough.
Nice. Let's see. I just want to go through all the yellow ones first, and then we'll get to ending this. Let's see. Democrat incumbent in District 45 is at 44.9%, but the number 2 and 3 are both Republicans, and it's they have a combination of 35%. So I don't know why it says that's a race to watch because the Democrats leading by 10%. That's not really a race to watch. I guess it is only 50% in. Damn, there's a lot of districts here. Screw that. Let's just see the actual good results. So that being said, it looks like Bernie is still up by 200,000 votes compared to Biden.
Shocking.
Biden is only up less than 100,000 votes from Bloomberg. And Bloomberg is up over almost 100,000 votes from Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
And Pete Buttigieg is still getting votes.
F.
Pete Buttigieg is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th place.
If Buttigieg didn't run on the ticket that he was gay, he would have won more black votes.
I didn't know he was. Wait, what?
He would have won more black votes. I mean, that is a thing that has to be acknowledged.
What is
Black
it?
and
Okay,
Latino votes,
now-
they don't like it. They like whatever it is. It's been shown. It's not a thing. Where
I
it's
come
like
from the hood.
The hood?
I am the minority.
the minority.
I represent all minorities when I
Yes.
speak.
And I can't challenge that because you are the minority.
Yes.
I can.
What I would like to say though is I don't get why African Americans and Hispanics continue to vote Democrat. I honestly don't think they vote Democrat because of the social issues. They only vote Democrat because Democrats will target them and be like, oh, this is what I can do for your community. I can tell you that I don't even know how to say this. I can tell you that minority groups in my town, at least, with the people I grew up with, I grew up in the south side of Stockton, which is the very predominant black Mexican population.
Yeah.
They really don't like gay people. They really don't like gay people.
I think a lot of it for like the Latinos in particular, the Catholic roots.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not all of them are active followers, but
No.
like it's still in the tradition, the culture, and the family. I feel like it's for the black community, it's a bit different.
If you
It's
look at
interesting.
gangbangers,
Yeah.
not in the sense of gang banging, but
I think
gangsters.
It's I think it's the machismo. It's like the kind of
Yes,
thing, like you
you
can't.
have-
yeah.
You can't be gay and in the Crips, you
Yeah.
know? You can't be gay in the Bloods.
Yeah, I think there's definitely that sort of aspect to it. So, back onto what, like, I mean, why Buttigieg and all that. Like, I think Warren is in the race still, as an establishment pawn, to split votes away from Bernie.
Somehow, some of these people are still getting votes. Like, let's see.
There's always absentee ballots.
Cory Booker has 3,000 votes. Who the hell's... Are they writing these people in, or are they, like, actually, like, getting votes?
Okay,
'cause
for
they're
some of the
still-
people, like Buttigieg, Klobuchar, anyone like
They're
that,
still on the ballot.
that's still absentee and, like, even on the ballot.
And they were so recent that people had mailed it in or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Cory Booker, that's been for, like, how long now?
You know what?
long time.
Yeah, that's like...
How much does it
Cory
cost to
who?
declare yourself a candidate? Because it shows somebody here with 781 votes. I couldn't run as a candidate. Okay. We need to find somebody that's 35 and just get like a group just as an experiment. And group together some money to get them on the ballot just so that we can see their name pop up on here. Okay? You know, just so we can be like, oh yeah, 15 votes.
Vermin Supreme.
I don't even think what isn't he in Vermont or something?
I don't know, but like honestly, he's my president. If we get like 2024,
I want to take all your guns so I can give you better guns.
a pony for everyone.
Okay. Oh, what's his energy thing is like zombies or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like windmill zombies or I forgot what it was
I mean,
about.
if they're like the restless dead, they're never gonna stop moving. Put them on like treadmills. There you go. Bam.
Okay.
Bing bam boom. Solved.
Cory Booker somehow got 3,000 votes.
I mean,
Tulsi Gabbard got 15,000. And she hasn't dropped out, huh?
she's still in the running. She can still eke out a win. It's the Jeb Bush of the Democrat Party.
You seen that meme where Jeb,
Yeah,
where
it's like, ah.
he's just like that, and then it's just in the back, it's just all yellow for Jeb.
Yeah.
It's my favorite meme.
And here's how Jeb can
Guac.
still win the 2016 election.
Do you guys
here in
remember-
It's in the
2020.
ones that make no sense too, like the French election, like
Yeah,
Jeb.
Okay. I loved I don't know if you guys watched these, but there was a series of Can't Stump the Trump, and it was just like memes of the entire and it went on for weeks and weeks on it. And there's like the centipede like music, and I don't know if you guys remember this. This is way back in 2016.
this
It was like
is-
centipede. It was like,
Yeah, this is the early meme wars.
Yes.
The veterans here.
early
meme
meme
wars.
wars. Yes, I was a part of that.
Yes.
Almost all of my karma from Reddit came from the Donald.
We magapedes out here.
Yes. Andrew Yang, 25,000 votes. Tom Steyer, 78,000. Klobuchar, 90. Pete Buttigieg.
The ones I'd still watch is the compilations where it showed like the chances of Trump winning slowly
Out
rising.
of all the nominees, Donald Trump.
He'll never become the nominee. He'll never become the president.
The one of Obama with like reading the tweet like, at least I'll go down in history as a president, and then drops
Yeah.
a phone. It's like,
And they have like the classical music playing in the background to hype it up.
90%.
Buttigieg is at Klobuchar is 91%. Buttigieg is at 184,000 votes. I say percent for Klobuchar. She's at 91,000 votes. Warren is at 260,000. Bloomberg is at 354,000. Biden, I'll come back to that in a second. Biden is at 443,000, and then Sanders is at 636,000. Okay, for Bloomberg, what I find fascinating is Warren. Isn't this her state? What state is Warren in? Elizabeth Warren.
I thought it was Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I find funny is Warren is arguably a bigger name political wise, like with politics. Bloomberg came in though.
He is the mayor of New York. And,
yes,
I mean,
but
that doesn't mean much.
And was like, "Fuck you! I have money."
Yeah. How
and
much
just
is the
jumped,
presidency, sir?
And jumped to 3rd place in just a couple weeks. And just he spent so much money on YouTube ads. He's now 3rd. We meme about how stupid it is, but here's the result right here. He got up there.
Yeah. And that's where it was, because, I mean, if he wasn't going to be able to take part of anything until now. This is his first actual entry into the polls, aside from the, like, secondary polling. This is important because it gives the DNC options of how they're going to fuck Bernie.
Yes!
From what side?
Which hole are we picking this
Yeah,
election?
exactly. Like, because they know they're fucked if they pick Bernie. And it's not because, like, oh, he's a socialist and oh, he's like all that. It's because he is a socialist. And it's because, not necessarily they don't agree with him on everything. It's because they're afraid of what's going to happen when he gets in the White House.
Yes.
What do you do after that?
I've said it before. Out of any Democrat nominee, I would like Bernie. Now, hear me out.
Yeah.
I would like Bernie. And if it was up to we have to have a Democrat president, I would want Bernie.
100%.
The reason why, though, is because when it comes to stuff like this, I like to be a little bit of an anarchist, okay? I think I was telling Floyd this today. But, okay. Socialism in not California, in the United States won't work because it'll be people like me taking advantage of it. Now, what I mean by that is I want socialism, like, speed up the process of killing it, right? If we're going to have a Democrat president, let's get a full-on socialist and let's full out just roll out everything. But
they won't be able to, though. I'll stop you there. The House and the Senate, red.
Executive
They're
order.
going to run straight into the same problem that Trump has had, but even worse.
Yeah.
Because Trump is not supposed to, he hasn't been passing things that are strictly unconstitutional, like Bernie would be proposing.
Yeah. So what I think.
But I get the idea, the accelerationist theory of just like.
Yeah. So what I think though is I think it'll be people like me because it'll be me walking out or wherever I'm at with a bunch of free stuff, free call, all this stuff, and I'm just gonna be like, haha, told you guys it wouldn't work. Our economy's going down. I'm like, yeah, but you got your free stuff, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I abused it. I'm the reason why it doesn't work. You guys should know there's people like me out there. I'm why socialism won't work. And I'm doing this to prove a point because it's not that I really wanted to. It's just that you gave me the option to do this. You gave people the option to abuse the system, and they're going to abuse it. So good luck. Good luck showing this off. You took it to the number one country in the world that would be in the spotlight as being the prime example of socialism if we had it. And it failed. So, that's to show you. Because of me. Because I abused it.
I can't remember who said it, whether or not it was Obama or whatever candidate now, but there's someone that says that we have to get used to not living as the best nation in the world, essentially. I can't remember his very wordage when he said it, but he's like, we have to get used to not being the only player on the world stage. Mm-hmm. I think it was Obama. I'm not
Prop 13
sure.
is still losing. Is that
Good.
It's only showing Prop 13 though. There's no other propositions on here.
I think that's the only statewide ballot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but someone said, I can't remember who, and if I can remember the guy who said it, I'll look it up right now, but essentially saying that America no longer deserves to have its spot or no longer should try to fight for being the best in the world. When did we accept such mediocrity? From being the single nation, the nation that was born to prove a fucking point to the rest of the world that yes, this constitutional republic can work, that these people, this government of and by the people can work, and that we're leaving the old world behind. And that we've came back to save the old world from itself, oftentimes. And we still come back to fucking save them now. Just give it a few more years. And they want us to just wash away into mediocrity. That's the saddest thing, because we've given to this world so much.
Screw that.
We
America.
forged this world, really. We were the painters, really. The canvas has been around for a while.
I mean, when you look at the system we have and everything that's working with the longest living written document in the Constitution that's still alive, hasn't been changed really that much for how long it's been in play.
Amended, but it gave point to give the opportunity to amend. The important thing of the Constitution is the outlining of our rights that can't be infringed upon. Now, we are living in a dark era of our republic where it is now in the discussion to be able to infringe on those rights.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them. Primarily the first and the second.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I feel like we have had the fourth and the fifth chipped away pretty severely by a Republican in office.
They're basically non-existent.
Yeah.
I do think that it's important for us to be united as conservatives.
Yeah.
At the same time, we need to at least think for ourselves sometimes, because Trump does things that are very controversial, and that even Republicans should step up to voice their opinion about it, because we have to keep our leaders in check. We have to keep our people in check. As the people, we need to keep them in check, but we don't.
Yeah.
We don't. We throw our undivided support towards one person.
We'll spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the deficit and that problem was the thing? Remember when we were
That's not even
talking
talked about anymore.
Remember?
That's what's our deficit at now? Like 22 trillion or something?
Just numbers that we can't even begin to comprehend with our little chimp brains
Tax
here.
cuts don't work if you don't cut the spending.
Let's see.
Yeah.
The real-time U.S. national debt clock. Let's see. I'm gonna bet we're at 23 trillion. 23 trillion, 400 billion, 401 billion, 385 million. Numbers that are just rising in the thousands and then regular dollars. Debt per citizen, we're at $72,000 per citizen. Debt per taxpayer. How does a little kid hold debt? Because it says debt by taxpayer. Which 4-year-old out there has $72,000?
It's the debt of it's the fucking debt of the parents. The sins of the father. It's going to be passed down just as it was to us. You wonder why we're in it so fucking deep right now.
What does that mean? What does debt per citizen compared to taxpayer mean?
I mean, yeah, not everyone pays taxes. Citizens.
But at the same time, which taxpayer? They know. Okay, they know
that's
this.
That's probably just by population.
Yeah, but still, how does it go from citizen to okay? You're saying that not everybody pays taxes. Which ones?
Like the dependents and all those people.
Okay, dependents.
So the people.
Okay. But they have $72,000 worth of debt.
Welcome.
That 15-year-old has $72,000 worth of debt.
And that's why we
yes.
We gotta solve it soon.
How does a little kid? If you're not paying taxes, you shouldn't have debt.
Of the father, my friend.
Oh my god.
And that's what we gotta fight for. That really is, and that's just the fucking that is a depressing thing to realize.
We're in $1 trillion
You're
deficit.
born into debt.
We're in a $1 trillion
cut spending
deficit.
Yeah, you're born into debt when you have no there is no social contract when you are 2 years old. There is no social contract that you can sign.
According to this, it says the official U.S. federal budget deficit is $1,062 billion, but it says the actual is $1,328 billion. That's over $1 billion, or that's $3 billion that is unaccounted for.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Let's see what else we got. Is there anything good about this? Is there anything good in this?
No.
What?
The more you look, the worse it's gonna get.
What?
Yeah.
I need to find something good. Assets per citizen, 452,000. That's not even a lot.
And then again, it's how much of that do we own? How much of that is actually just the banks, but we claim ownership.
We owe $20 trillion of Social Security.
Good.
Our Medicare liability is $31 trillion. Our Medicare liability is $31 trillion. Trillion.
Yeah.
That'll be the first candidate I truly respect that has the willingness to touch any of the big three.
Yeah, you can't touch welfare, you can't touch Social Security.
U.S. unfunded liabilities.
God forbid you touch Social Security. Oh my God. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
and welfare. Just throw it on top. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
but-
you
Gold-
cannot touch welfare.
Gold is at $8,000, $8,800 per ounce. Silver is at $1,000 an ounce. Dollar to oil, it's $30 a barrel. That's not terrible, but California, fuck us if we ever see that.
I think having a discussion about cryptocurrency would be interesting at some point.
I'm not well educated on it. It'd be interesting because They're really like the labor aspect of it is so hard because it isn't like you run the miner on your computer, your processors. And then what do they do with it? What do they do with it? What do they do with that processing? What do they?
It's so slow though. Like
Yeah, no, mine would be terrible to run.
Well, I mean, that's why you have
such a shitload of processing.
Yeah, that's why people buy them in the hundreds.
Yeah, no, you get like I have a graphics card. It would take 5 of those.
But what is that processing power used for exactly?
Numbers. You're processing numbers. You're trying to find the cryptocurrency basically. You're just finding random zeros and ones.
Yeah.
But for what? Like that's the thing. Like with most things with currency and anything, it is traced to some value gained somewhere.
But here's the appeal in cryptocurrency is there's a limited amount. It can't be manipulated like regular currency can. Like the dollar isn't backed up by anything anymore.
Yeah,
it used to be gold.
It used to be. It used to be a system. I have learned about this in my multinational finance course.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a globalist.
College.
I actually do want to debate the globalist issue because globalism is not just a single facet issue. It's not just like, yeah, we want to ship all your jobs off overseas, or we want to send in all these new migrant workers.
I actually really don't like cryptocurrency because I don't like my dollar being worth 50 cents 50 seconds from now and then worth $3 like 50 seconds from now.
That's weird because you say that there's a limited supply, yet it's like rates are so just fucking.
It's pure like free market supply demand type shit.
Yeah,
it fluctuates.
I think it's a pure float system there.
A Bitcoin is worth like $8,000 right now, but in 2019 at the very beginning it was worth 20,000.
But the thing is that the only thing I can really say that I agree with it is the establishment fucking hates it.
Yeah, that's about it. Like it's not tied to any government.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Good thing.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's no central bank to
and
it.
the person and the people behind it, they don't really like them. And let's hope that it's still among the living. But I have to say,
I like the idea. I hate the follow through.
Yeah, I feel like there does need to be security in it, but like our monetary system history, there was a thing set up. I think it was shortly after the close of World War II, where it tied. It wasn't the dollar. It was the dollar to gold, but everything else to the dollar. It was basically every other currency who wanted to exchange had to go through the dollar and then to.
The thing
else.
is, it only makes sense to tie the world's currency if we ever had it to tie it to the dollar. Because China's way too unpredictable, and they devalue.
They devalue their things because, of course, they're an export economy.
The UK's in a shit show right now, so you can't do anything on them. The euro constantly it can't keep itself up. You can't go to Greece. Japan is actually in very bad shape right now, and their Japanese yen or whatever it's called, is very, very poor. To where like they owe so much debt that it's like I think I heard compared to the U.S. if you scaled it right, they would owe more debt than the U.S. owes right now. So their debt situation isn't good. Korea's not good. There's really no other country in the world to get. You can't go based off of Canadian's dollar. They're fucking like their entire country is one big California.
The entire real estate market is owned by China.
Yeah. No, their real estate market is crazy. It's like their real estate market is so expensive. You might as well be living in a California that's winter all year round. Like it's terrible. The United States is the only dollar out there that is any good.
But now we live in a different system where it's not tied to gold.
But now I would like to bring up that I recently sold all my stock in PG&E because I was just like coronavirus is
It's not. I don't think PG&E is too. It's not going to be affected.
But stocks are very dipped right now.
Oh yeah, no.
So I sold 50,000 or 50,000. Oh God, no. I sold $70 worth of PG&E stock.
Yeah. How long do we usually go this for? Because I do want to touch on the coronavirus a little bit.
Actually, at this point, we're 20 minutes over, but because we're 20 minutes over, we're just going to go until we fucking don't matter. So, the coronavirus, I'll transfer over to that right now with this segue. Today, the other day I sold all my PG&E shares at like, I can check right now. I bought them for about $13 a share, or less than that. Actually, I bought some of them for $7 a share. And I sold them at $15.56 a share, which is actually less than I should have sold it. I could have actually sold it for $18 a share and got a lot more profit. I would have gotten like $100. That's fine. Profit's profit.
Yeah.
So I sold it recently and made I think I made $27 or something like that. And I took all that money, and because of the coronavirus, travel's down, right? Travel's down. So what do? I buy a shit stock that's like dumped right now. American Airlines. I bought American Airlines because I know that it's poor.
Yeah.
And it's because of the coronavirus. Once that shit goes away, my stock's gonna fucking fly. And it's gonna go back. Like I bought it. I make money off of people suffering.
Yeah, no, that's the way to do it.
And I'm proud of that. So look at it. Okay, so American Airlines 3 months ago, its peak was $30 a share. $30 a share 3 months ago. Right now it's at $18 a share. So I bought it and I was like, you know what? We're gonna make money off of this. We are gonna make money off of this.
Yeah.
I have some shares of Nokia because I was like, you know what? 5G is gonna come out soon. Apparently they're in talks with the government or with the federal government to win a contract for to be competitor to Huawei because U.S. really hates Huawei.
Yeah, it's obviously. Why would you want a Chinese company when IP laws in China is basically, hey, if you're gonna work here, tell us your secrets.
Yeah. So I bought
that.
Nokia because they're the main front runner right now for phones. To when it comes to talking to the government about being like a competitor. So they're about to win a contract. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, and right now they're at 62%. People rate it as a buy, like buy it. Tesla, I kind of want to take a risk here.
Jeez.
Wait, I kind of want to take a risk here. No.
Tesla's a deep dive. Don't do it.
The only reason why I want to take a risk here is because they almost got up to $900 a share. They did, $917 a share. It's at $730 right now. I should have bought it when it was at $420 for the memes, but also because it was at $420, and that's hella low.
Yeah.
Fuck, I could have sold it for $500 profit. I could have sold it for $500 profit, and that would have been great.
Yeah.
It would have been great. But back to coronavirus,
yeah.
My choices were either American Airlines, Delta, or some other shit. But apparently, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway bought part of Delta Airlines, so their stock went up. Anything that Warren Buffett touches goes
gold,
fucking straight up into the air.
Yeah.
I can't afford a Warren Buffett stock. You know how much Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is worth? Because there's Berkshire Hathaway A and B. B is like a smaller company. B is worth not that expensive compared to A. So I'll show you Berkshire Hathaway B. $208 a share, right? What do you think A is worth? Just throw me a number.
Who's gonna are we gonna say like in the 5 digits? It's in the 5 digits or is it in the 6 digits? Like how ridiculous are you talking here?
We're talking.
I know Warren Buffett, and I know like this is gonna be a high number.
Okay, think his B company is worth $200 a share. So, if I say that his A company is worth shit ton, what do you think it's gonna be?
$1 million.
$5,000.
$5,000. What's yours?
7.
All right. Multiply your answers by like 30.
Oh my!
For a stock. For a stock in a company.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, not even. Hold on. Yeah, not even. Multiply your answers by, I think, let me do this quick math really quick.
Quick maths.
Yeah, multiply it by 70.
Oh.
Holy fuck.
His fucking Berkshire Hathaway A stock,
300,000.
$315,000.
Jesus. And
What the hell?
And that's where it's like we can't like when you get to that like number, like even like something like 300,000, where you think you can understand it. You can sort of understand it.
Their stock
But
is
in our perspective, it's just like that's a lot of fucking money.
Their stock is down 3% today. 3% is $10,000. Just imagine looking at your account, and you're not buying one stock of this. When you're buying stocks this large, you own millions of dollars worth of this. Some maybe even $1 billion of this. Okay? No, when you look at this and you own millions of dollars, that red from today isn't 10,500. That red from today is like 1.3 million. You're just like, I lost $1.3 million today, you know? For the 3 months, it's down $12,000. For the year, it's up $9,000.
Yeah.
In the 5-year, it's up $92,000. If you own this towards the end of Obama's presidency and sold it now, you would make $90,000 profit per share. That's crazy. That's Trump's economy right there.
Yeah. So back to the coronavirus, though. Like, I feel like we should always do like a little segment, like, because it is important to kind of keep in mind. I do want to say that. Do I think the coronavirus is something that's going to end civilization as we know it? No. Unlikely. Improbable, like 0.001% chance of happening.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I think what this virus does is show a lot of important things, like the shortcomings of globalization. The fact that we have such an interconnected world, it is a breeding ground for things like the coronavirus or any virus or any sort of disease. And just-in-time delivery means like you're getting your stuff just in time to make you're getting inventory in just as you need it. It's a way of making things more efficient for a process. That is also a great way for diseases to travel. Because if you're shipping it out like 5 days to be in, like, say, Singapore from, like, Tokyo, whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's too close. Anyway, the disease, even 5 days, will still be on the container and will be still living. And so, like, you'll get dock workers and people working in airlines everywhere. It'll spread real fast just because of the way that we have our system. And how much food do you think we have in a single city at any given point?
A lot, especially
statewide, but is it ready? Is it ready to be shipped out? Is it like? And then we look.
You need
at
people to touch
out.
it to ship out.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what makes it worse. Like, you have this thing where, like, given like a city has to shut down. That's usually the result. Like, that's a thing where it's like, you know, shut down martial law. Like, everyone has to, you know, stay inside and all that shit like that. You know, there's not going to be a lot of like food supplies in the city, even with all of the grocery outlets that we have. How long is that going to really last?
Not that long. If you have an entire city raiding every single grocery store, that's not a lot.
We are seeing shortages even now in some places.
Nobody's going to go there and be like, oh, I'll take fucking Little Debbie's syrup. No, that shit's staying on the shelf. We're talking staple foods. We're talking rice, beans, steaks, burgers, stuff like that. That's the stuff that's going to leave.
And those are the stupid people who buy things like steak.
Yeah.
Or buy things like produce. Buy canned foods. I'm telling it to everyone. It doesn't matter if it's the coronavirus. It doesn't matter if it's an outbreak of the flu.
AIDS. If AIDS outbreak.
It doesn't matter. You should all have
canned tuna.
You need a supply of canned foods and water for any emergency.
I can
be self-sufficient.
I can survive on 1 can of tuna a day, which means I have like a month's supply of food in my.
It's gonna suck.
Right now.
It's gonna suck going through an apocalyptic scenario where the government and like all of the systems that we have shut down.
Got to get ready for that summer bod. That's what Ebola's doing.
The apocalypse, the apocalypse and like all that shit isn't it's not a sunny day. You know, you have to buckle down. But
so what I did hear about this coronavirus though is it's actually pretty good for our environment. Apparently in China, since they have a lot of industrial work, they had to shut down some of their cities. Yeah. There goes all the pollution. And I mean,
there might be a few burning days there, you know, but
that's the thing. Even the burning days aren't as bad as regular like output days from a factory.
I wonder what they're burning.
Meat,
We don't talk about it.
Yeah,
we love China here.
Community barbecues, you know?
That's one thing I do want to talk about.
They're burning bodies.
Like, the World Health Organization, the people who are out there for what? What's the organization about? World Health, are now just kowtowing to China to make sure that they don't step on China's toes, even though we're dealing with something that could potentially be deadly for millions of people. And I'm not saying, like, I don't think it's going to be able, we can stop it at this point. It's past the point of containment. I don't think it's going to kill everyone. Obviously not, or else we would know by now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to directly affect the old and the young. And
Very
I
young,
need to look into some more of the details, but I heard somewhere and I looked at it and it's like, okay, this looks somewhat legitimate, is that it does affect the ability to reproduce within men. That's scary. That's if you're killing the young, the old, and leaving anyone in between infertile.
Yeah. I don't want it to get to the point where we're going to start putting down the elderly. You know, I don't want to start putting down the young people.
Well, I mean, they be put down themselves because
yeah,
reinfection is a possibility with this virus, and the second time around, it's not easier.
We are going to get it done somehow. I don't think civilization will crumble to the point of humanity's gone.
I think it will actually shift a little bit, though. I feel like this is one of the things that could chip away.
We're going to, it might chip away, but like all events in mankind's history, we will find a way to innovate something. There's going to be some kind of innovation out. With Ebola, we innovated a way to at least stop it
and then it mutated to a point where it was just like it basically shot itself in the foot.
Yeah,
no
we did enough to where the media fucking made it look like it was an outbreak that was going to kill the world. At the same time, I think that does help. Having a media frenzy does help to the point to where then governments start to freak out. I'm like, oh, I don't want my people to freak out, so we need to step up and actually do something. It doesn't seem like it's
I mean, we had FEMA camps prepared and everything like that.
So
about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're getting that. We just need to make sure we be careful. But like the old people that might have to be put down, we have to start putting down this episode. It's an hour and a half, hour and 36 minutes.
Hey, it's for the loyal.
The very loyal.
Yeah.
Who is watching right now? Can I see really quick who's watching this? I can't. If I was on Twitch, I would be able to. Who's watching this right now? Somebody's watching.
A trooper.
Somebody out there is watching an hour and a half episode of some college students.
It's important stuff, dude.
My God, you know what?
Just make sure that you make the coronavirus update every fucking week. It'd be great.
Yeah, at the very end.
It's something to just watch.
The end of each episode. All right, coronavirus. How many has it killed? This many. Okay, cool.
I think so far it's now 2 in the United States from person-to-person transmission, which is important. Person-to-person within the state.
Wow.
Or within the nation. So that's important.
It started with 2 people, or it started with 2 deaths in China too. You know. They didn't just go 20,000.
Well, I mean, I'm talking like it wasn't someone that was like.
Are we in the thousands with the deaths in total?
Yes, I'm pretty sure, and it's like. What I meant there was it wasn't like someone from China or somewhere else coming to America and then spreading it and they died.
Yeah.
It was someone came over, spread it to someone, that person spread it to someone, and that person on the end of it died. So on the X, Y, and Z, Z died, Y gave it to him.
Okay, let's see.
Which is important.
Wait, 9 people on what? Coronavirus 19 kills 9 people on what? What is this?
Is this
this is March 4th.
Are we talking about the cruise ship?
Coronavirus death toll rises to 9 in Washington State.
That's because it would happen at an old folks home, I think, like an elderly assistance home. So yeah, no, that's gonna fucking that's the deadliness of it right there.
There are 100 cases in 15 states.
Yes.
What the fuck?
And what do you guys think it's gonna do to the homeless population?
Hey, California, I solved our homeless problem.
Yeah.
Oh man. I did when I was looking up the coronavirus stuff. I did see. Hold on. Let me just see something really quick. Corona. Let's see their stock. Are they publicly traded? They might not be, but we'll see.
Anyway,
Corona.
It's. I mean, like this is why I say
that's the
keep
beer
an eye
style.
on it, because not only are you seeing what it is and our response to things, like this is important stuff.
Mhm.
It also shows just the government.
No, it's not.
It shows the government and the institutions how weak and feeble they are to this sort of shit. So
Yeah. Well, let's hope this isn't the last podcast I ever have, because coronavirus might wipe us out. Oh God.
It's starting.
It's starting. Oh well. I heard alcohol kills it.
Y'all out of happy juice.
I don't think you're ever gonna catch a virus that didn't be killed by alcohol. Steven, the last human alive. He's just drinking away.
He's so lonely.
Steven finds the last ounce of alcohol in the world. This is it. This is what it's come to. He drinks it. The sun slowly sets. He's sitting. He's on his knees now with the sword in his hands. This is for you. This is for you, beer.
Alright.
Fades to black.
And so too will it be for the stream, I think, as we go off into the sunset.
It was great though. It was amazing. All I can say is congrats, Trump, for winning California. It was a tight race.
Maybe next time,
yeah.
Geld or Weld or whatever.
No,
What was his
whoever
name
the
again?
fuck.
Who cares?
All of a sudden, Jeb out of left field. Jeb wins California. All right. Well, it looks like Trump won California. Bernie is probably going to win California. He's still leading Sanders.
It's Bernie's state, but
yeah.
Texas is important.
All right. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. It's been great. It's been a very long episode. It's actually probably my favorite episode so far. But anyway, this has been Behind the Point with Steven.
Goodbye, everyone.
With special guest Kyle, the good Kyle #1, Gerard, and your host Michael, Brett.
Kyle the younger.
Well, I don't know if he's even a host anymore. He's just
You can never replace that man.
I
Papi
can't.
Chulito, he's a staple to the store. I'm just in his shoes right now.
I don't have my Shrek mask here somewhere.
What, you got a Shrek mask?
I do. I also have a wig.
Oh.
See that?
We're gonna keep this fucking stream going as you go through your wardrobe.
All right, guys. This has been your episode. Thank you for showing up.
No refunds. No refunds. Final sales only.
We'll catch you guys all later. Look, ending right on midnight.
Yeah.
And have